Alrighty guys, so this is going to be a little intro to what my videos are going to be more like for the rest of this rank season, probably. So season 11, a lot of my videos are going to be a lot more educational, self-development, grind, journey, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be my journey to high elo and how I'm going to be coaching myself. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be streaming all my gameplay on almost all platforms: Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, 4 of them, yeah. But what I'll be doing is playing my games live on stream and then doing content of me coaching myself on YouTube. And if that helps you, I'm super pumped. If you guys already know this stuff, cool. It's kind of for me to document my journey. But I hope you guys are able to pick up some things from it, especially if you're low reload. I think this will be a lot more beneficial. How I'm going to be doing this though is I'll be coaching myself on 5 fundamentals, which will be CSing, map awareness, mouse speed and accuracy, and then trading and spacing. There's obviously way more fundamentals than that, but those are the core 5 fundamentals that I find most important for low elo coaching, and which unfortunately would be me. In this video, we're talking about trading and spacing, most particularly. And if it helps you guys, I'm glad. If not, I hope you guys the best of luck in your season 11 rank journey, and I hope to see you guys on the riff. Good luck and enjoy the video. So I'll be doing little snippets over basically like you would see LS or Zen coaching, which I would definitely recommend for you to go watch them. This is just my journey on trying to figure this out on my own. So if you're low elo, consider watching, consider subscribing, consider being entertained. But if you're higher elo, definitely bypass my stuff. Go straight to Zen coaching at LS. I am not of the knowledge. This is the first mistake in my gameplay right off the bat, which is right here. We got to wave first though, so we do have first response on the wave, meaning we should be able to hit level 2 first. Because we also have fair enough wave clear against an Ashe. It's not like we are Ezreal or Lucian, who can't clear the wave. Ezreal or Vayne, who can't clear the wave as well as Ashe. We also have a fair bit of wave clear ourselves. But here, when this play plays out, we'll see Maokai step up to use his relic onto this minion. And one thing that we could have been doing is that we'll have to hit this minion because it's going to get low about the same time, if not before. But we also should notice that Maokai is coming for this minion. And when he does that, we should look to harass onto him, because Not is also right here, which he does not understand. The Maokai doesn't know. So let me color code this real quick. Let me also make this a little bit smaller. So as Not, eraser, as Not comes up, Maokai comes up for this minion, this guy right here. Me and Nautilus, you'll see that Nautilus does actually do this, so it's just me who did not. I should hit this minion, so get this first minion, and then look to hit the Maokai. Names are confusing. And then Not will also go to hit the Maokai. But since we don't do this, we take a kind of poor trade. But if we play this out, you'll see that's not how this quite goes down. So you see there that we miss out on the opportunity to get the easy proc. So this isn't terrible because we do end up hitting him. We'll play this out one more time. Play it all the way through. You see that we step up right here. We hit him because we see that he is stepping up for the relic proc. But then it makes this PTA right here. We get the double auto. But then this PTA, which is a good choice to hit the PTA. But now we're a little bit longer into the trade, and Maokai was able to get out of this guy right here. His little sapling, which runs us down, does a good bit of damage actually onto us. So if we were to run that back and play this properly, you'll see if we were to just auto attack Maokai as he comes up for this, and then Q auto, it'd be an easy, clean, get this minion. Oh, not miss it, because I think we do miss it in the clip. Auto Maokai to get the first PTA proc, and then Q him again, and double auto for the third PTA proc. But instead, that's not how this plays out. We actually see he walks perfectly up to that minion. I Q, but I am forced to take an extended trade, which gives him enough time to actually apply sapling. Error number 1. So looking into it a little bit more, I actually started to question myself on why. What does this apply to? So this is trading first off, and spacing. So it's trading on the sense on we could have perfected our trade a little bit better. We could have auto-queued auto But also it's in terms of spacing where Maokai should not be able to enter into this range. And I should be able to enter into Ash's range, which is a little bit further. Something like that. I might be a little bit far from Ash. But if you look, we actually end up playing out this lane and letting him enter in, and we don't attack him right away, which we should be abusing that right off the bat. Then after we take the trade, so if we hit play, oops, rid of all that. We'll go ahead and hit play. You'll see Maokai come in, we take our trade, and then even odd, something that's also a little bit odd is that after this trade, we know we have a good trade onto this guy. We know we have PTA proc on him. As we play this out, you see, I guess it makes sense if we're dodging away, which isn't terrible. But if it wasn't for the sapling, it would have been a better idea. Probably kite down into this minion wave to dodge minion aggro. You want to step into this bush. So even though in this situation, it makes sense why I kited away from this bush, but normally, since I picked up this aggro, I would want to step into these bushes to drop the aggro. And also, if I would have came here into this bush, particularly, I could have looked to proceed the trade onto Maokai, because we are going to hit that level 2. And that's something to always keep in mind when critiquing your own gameplay. It's not about the results. Something good could happen from something that you did that was wrong just because the other person's worse. Don't base something good or bad only off of results. That's what I'm looking for. That's the wording. Alrighty, so there's another thing that I've noticed. So here, so if you guys didn't know, in bot lane when it's a duo lane, so 2 people in the lane together, it is to hit level 2, you have to get 9 minions. Whereas if you're in a solo lane to hit level 2, oops, ugly looking 2, you have to get 6. Oh, no, 7 minions. You gotta get 7 minions. So you get level 2 off of the second wave always, but for bot lane, it's off of the 3rd melee minion, usually. Off of these 3. And I think like sometimes it can be like 2 melees and 2 casters because they do give different XP. But traditionally it will be off of 9 minions, meaning the first 3 melee minions are usually the ones that die. So, noticing that though, I know me and Not are going to hit level 2, because if you look at the HP bars, this minion is about to fall. This minion's below half, and they only have 1 minion below half. Meaning that these 2 will die together, but this one's going to be a 1 minion advantage for us in the terms of hitting level 2. So what I should be doing, because I do believe here Nautilus doesn't see that this is what I'm trying to go for. So in low elo, this is something you'll have to communicate with your support, meaning you may have to ping like the Ashe or the Maokai a whole bunch, like spam ping, so that he understands we're going in. Or another thing you can do is ping this minion if they understand the concept, because if they don't get the concept of level 2 all-ins, pinging this minion first, then going in won't really help. So something you can do is just spam ping the enemy when this minion, so your 3rd minion, is about to die. Once it does die, you guys are able to go in and mess some things up. Let's play it out and see what happens, and then I can talk about how what I did was not as effective. So as here, we get the first minion, get the second minion. We're up a whole minion almost. I spam ping this minion. I don't think he understood the concept, but we'll see. Okay, actually, that might be on me. I take that back. If you look, well, I need to be my cursor back. Get to a good point. Which, right here, I'm spam pinging that minion. Hopefully he understands. Oh, level 2, go in. But when I kill this minion, I don't put myself in a position. So I've pinged him. I need to still, because this minion isn't ready to be taken yet, I need to step up this way. Hopefully Not follows me, and we can look to go in from around this minion, off of this one's tail end. Because then that'll be in time for it to die, and we can look to go in. But if we watch this clip, I actually end up killing this minion, being all the way up here, which is not effective for us. So making sure we're in a position at level 2 to be able to go in is a good idea as well. Making sure that once we hit level 2, because a lot of times they'll, like, obviously these guys, I don't think have any idea that we're about to hit level 2, because they are not positioned, or at least they may have an idea, but they're not playing like it, because they are not, because if we were to step up, this would be in free all-in, but they're just really worried about getting this minion. They didn't show any respect as of yet. We'll go ahead and play this out. See if that would have helped us to play a little bit more aggro before killing the minion. So yeah, if we would have ran down this way instead of running up, we would probably be here with not right behind us. And Ash kites down. But then there can be an argument on why not play up like this. But either way, that's besides the point. We should have, when that video was dying, we should have played up more instead of kiting just straight side to side. Because we went from here. Currently we went from here to here. I mean from here to here. It should have been here. That way. Towards them. So prep for level 2. So when level 2 is about to hit, when you see that third minion about to die, which is this guy right here, you want to be playing at the front of your wave, preferably. If you can win the level 2 all in. So here's another instance where at level 3, we just got back to wave after backing and getting the kill. We look to freeze here. We have this 5-ish minions that with all the XPs added up, this is probably 1, this is like 1.5. So it's about 3 minions, which is a traditional freeze. 3 or 4 minions between there with all their XPs added up. But we see not play up, which we possibly could have played up. We saw Ash all by herself. Actually, you can see it down here. She's all by herself, it looks like. And we could have zoned her off of XP even, threatening to go all in on her. But even on top of that, we look to trade with her with our Q. But when we do that, we hit like all 3 of these minions and kill this one. And I think this one and maybe even that one. But I'll show you guys the clip, which is not very effective. We should have kept this freeze and looked to Q without hitting any hit any minions like this. Maybe 1 or 2, but not. Or preferably only 1. Or even just hit Ash. Either way, besides the point. We broke her freeze when trying to trade. You need to be wary of that when you have AoE ability. We'll play the video and show you what I mean. So right here, Nautilus looks to go in, which we could have played up more, causing her to not be able to kite up like this. So if we were right, we played aggressive like this. Not was able to walk to here to here. We were here originally. If we walked here to here, we'd be more like here. Ash would have been in range to get hit. And we've been able to get a free trade-off because Not would have threatened to keep walking at her. She would have had to kite up the river, and then we could zone her. To have to go all the way around. It just led to a bunch of bad stuff for the Ash. But instead, we didn't play that aggressive. We tried to focus on the wave, which isn't terrible, because this is a good wave state. But is terrible is even though we focus on the wave state right here, we hit 1, 2, 3 minions. We do hit Ash, but we totally broke our freeze now. We have no more freeze. These minions are about to die in 2 seconds. I don't even know if I get both of them. Definitely don't. And both of these minions ended up dying, and now we have like less than a minion health advantage for our freeze. We aren't able to freeze with only 1 enemy minion. Alrighty, so this is right after that last clip. As you can see, we moved the wave slightly down to the middle of the wave, literally just after it. But we were able to get an all in onto the Ash and actually end up killing the Ash. As you can see, we got 1 kill. But we work on shoving the wave, because after you kill somebody in lane, it is always a great idea to shove the wave, especially if you can back and get an item, which in our case we were able to get a long sword and a dagger to start to build into the quiver. I forget what the item's actually called, what goes into your mythic. And instead though, what ends up happening is instead of shoving and backing like we should have, first off, we're not shoving very fast. We stay and look to harass. We look to kill the Maokai, which is not correct thinking by any means, because unless the Maokai feeds into us, which is not guaranteed ever. I mean, sometimes it feels like it is because you're playing in low elo or whatever it may be, but it's not something you can rely on. So we should have looked to back after this and actually get our items, which now we could actually afford. No, not quite. Math isn't quite my strong suit. Could have almost got refillable with our longsword and our dagger, but either way, we should have looked at back here. This is a little bit greedy because now this leaves us under tower, open to any sort of gank or etc. I haven't been tracking jungler. It's not something that I really recommend to lower elo. It's hard to track a jungler that doesn't know how to path. But it's something to, but we should have, but what we should have done is just go ahead and back out, get our base in, come back with even more items, even more lead. The wave would have been on our side of the river, so like middle of wave, our tower, which would have left us in a much safer spot. But instead of backing, we decided to try and harass the Maokai and then see what ends up happening. Go ahead and play. Right about here, we go in on the Maokai, we get our kill, we get where we came from. Nautilus ends up dying, then I proceed to fight the Ashe, not realizing there's a TP behind me, because I left myself open to ganks. And then I end up dying as well. I found out, you probably should have backed earlier, you goofball. So, from that, we should have backed. The second we got this kill right here, boom, got the kill. We shoved this wave like we do, which isn't terrible. And right there, we should have been walking away. We saw that right there. We walk this wave in to make sure that Maokai doesn't try to freeze it. And right here we see he's not. He backed up. So we get on out. Click on out. Click on out. But instead, we look to fight. And this is including, like, even though this does happen, assuming this was all still to happen, like if I'm back in right here, but not goes in, it may tilt your knot, but you probably should keep running. I mean, keep backing, because it puts you in a really good spot. And if you back, he's most likely going to back. He's not going to try and the kill as well. But nope, since I tried to go for the kills, I am punished, and I died. So here is a free instance of how trading kind of works. Ideally, when you trade, you have a trade minion, and then you have a trade stance, or trade position, or a trade pocket, whatever you want to call it. And how this works is when I CS, I am vulnerable because I'm standing still to auto attack. And when the enemy CSs though, that's the same situation. I should probably bring this over here so y'all can hear me. But when a minion, your minions get low, you know they're gonna target that minion. So as you can see here, this minion is incredibly low. Oh, I covered up his HP. This minion, there we go, look at that, highlighting the HP, is incredibly low. His HP is literally right here. So he's about to die. So that means that I know she's gonna go for this auto attack, meaning I could look for a trade onto her as she's doing this. Earlier I did use my Q, but this would have been a good instance. As you can see, I click right here, and if I would have saved my Q to be able to use it onto Ashe, I could have shot it right through all these minions. So this position right here would have been considered my trade stance, or my trade position, or my trade pocket. And this would have been my trade minion, this guy right here, with all that stuff written around him. And a trade minion is just any minion that's about to die on your side is always an opportunity for a trade minion. Same with their minions, so is also an opportunity for a trade minion for them though. But what a trade stance looks like is more or less, it's the pocket in which you click in. So if I was trading around this minion around with my Q, my trade pocket would have been these two brackets right here. It would have been a click, 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 click. And then once I see that she comes up for it, I click on this side, which is the closer side to the enemy, queued right through. Or if I was Caitlyn, it might look a little bit more like this. Like my trade pocket would have been a little bit more straightforward, because I'm not looking at for some funny angle. I'm just looking to auto attack. And then once she comes up for the farm, I click here and auto attack. I'm not sure how far Caitlyn's range is. That might be a little bit far, but hopefully you get the gist.